No hipsters.
No hipsters.
No Hipsters pod.
Hey guys, it's Ronce, the founder of NoHipstersAllowed.com and the host of No Hipsters Pod. On episode 49, we chat with actress, dancer, and TV host Tanika Ray.
Here he comes, Mr. Tom Cruise for MI6 Fallout Heights in the house looking 20. Like, how does she do it, people? 22. He is Mrs. Witch in the flesh.
Come on, Mrs. Witch. Hey,
Hi.
you did a good job. Good job
Mama.
this morning.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, you have no idea. First of all, Ronce, thank you so much for moving this back a little bit,
Of course.
I have very few things in my life that I have to do at a certain time, which is what a privilege. But
Right.
I had to, and don't get mad, but Mama had to go to dance class. I had to.
That's
I
fair.
had to. Ronce, real talk, it is my moving meditation. If I don't get that in, and I'm sorry I didn't notice that last week, that, oh crap, it's right in the middle of dance class, but I'm here.
Welcome to No Hipsters Pod, and I am so honored. I have been a fan for a very, very, very long time, and I consider you like a mentor in my head. I think you're one of the best at it. And actually, it's interesting that you bring up dance, because I want to talk about your life and career before your first stint at Extra, which is my introduction to you.
Okay.
And let's just talk about it. I know you were born in DC, which I live in DC. So let's talk about your days in DC and all the way to Spelman and all the interesting things you did in the years before Extra. Take it away.
Oh, well, first of all, I was born in DC because my dad was at Howard Law School.
Oh, nice.
And then we left and came to LA when I was 6 months old. So I have zero memories of DC, zero. But
Okay.
I feel like I have to give it some love because of my dad's accomplishments there, and
Okay.
give some love to Howard U and law school. And I wasn't born and raised here. I was raised here from 6 months old, but I wasn't born and raised.
Oh, gotcha.
And then from there, yeah, I lived the LA life. And excuse me if I'm a little slimy. I literally ran home and jumped in the shower.
I love it.
So from there, I grew up this LA kid and was so blessed to live in Los Angeles, California. Are you kidding? It's sunny all day. Yeah, there was this thing called Hollywood, but we didn't ever talk about it, never thought about it. It wasn't like today, right?
Right.
I grew up in Ladera predominantly. It's basically Black Beverly Hills.
Okay.
Baldwin Hills, Ladera, it's kind of all where we sort of settled back in the day. Are we talking decades? We don't need to.
Yeah.
And then
You're ageless.
right, I'm ageless. Had a really incredible upbringing here, and didn't really notice what Hollywood was until I was in high school. And I was like, oh, I was dancing the whole time. This dancing and acting thing seems fun. Let me do that a little bit more. Let me pursue that. So I went to Spelman. The reason why I went to Spelman, because I thought it was really important for me to counterbalance my predominantly white high school experience, which that's just what it was. It was like, okay, I know how to survive in a predominantly white environment, but I'm Black. So what would it be like if I got to be in an entirely Black environment and really flush out all the sides of me, to be a full human representing person. And it was the best decision I ever made in my life. Spelman holds such a deep place in my heart. I found the greatest friends in the world through Spelman. I found my identity through Spelman. I found a deep love of self through Spelman, that when you are one of only a couple and you're othered your whole life, you don't even know what that feels like, to be like, oh, I'm not a total alien.
Right.
Like, there are all these people who have had very similar experiences that I have, who I can relate to. So that was such a blessing. And then from there, I knew I was going to be in the industry one way or another. You just know, right? You get this feeling, this calling, these whispers from the universe, and you're like, I know everyone's going to think I'm crazy. I don't even care, because this industry chooses you. I think there are people who get the calling, even if you don't do a television show, your life has been strengthened and it has been elevated and it has been expanded because of your experience here, writing on your spams, depending on yourself, having nothing but hope in yourself. That is a lesson that all of us should learn, no matter what field you go into. If you don't believe in yourself 1,000,000,000%, honey, pack it up, because nobody is going to give you confidence. Nobody's going to give you the faith that you belong, except for yourself. So I ran from Spelman knowing that it was easy. I again, another blessing, my parents are here. So I have I'm on a squeaky chair, hold tight. I have the utmost respect for people who come to LA with what they have in their pocket, their families, you know, far, far away. And I got to get back up. I feel low, don't I? Okay. I have the utmost respect for people who come to LA with whatever money's in their pocket. I'm thinking of like Taraji P. Henson, who had $700. And she had a baby. Lord, I don't even know. Like, so much
Amazing.
Respect. Like, it's unreal. And I understand that I had another, you know, it was like a priority. I had a privilege. It was a little bit of a privilege that my family was from here. And my mom and dad were 20 minutes away. And I never felt like, oh, if I don't get this one job, it's over, you know?
Right.
I got to really be patient and learn everything that I needed to learn along the way. And when I say learn everything, I don't just mean technical skills. I mean observing how people rock on set, observing when people are lying to you, people smile in your face, but they're not your friend. Like, really learning how human beings, especially in the business, rock through the world. It is not, you know, fluffy and fairy tales. It's not. It is to one degree, but it's an industry of sharks, honey. You can just watch any television show about the industry. Now amplify that 15 times, you know? One of the latest shows that I was watching, and I don't ever watch anything when everyone's like, you gotta watch. I'm like, whatever, I'll get to it when I get to it, right? You hyped it up too much. But because one of my first jobs, I actually posted about it this morning. One of my first jobs, or my exact first job when I came to Hollywood, was I was a PA on the set of Friends. Now, this is first season, baby. This is, the show is not on the television, okay? I called Warner Brothers. I became a part of their PA, production assistant program, because in my experience and in my wisdom, whatever 20-year-old wisdom, was get in it, feel it around, observe how people move through that space, and then make it yours, right? That's the most important way to succeed. It's not to, give me everything, and then figure it out along the way. I mean, people do that. It's messy because you don't know, you have no like real true respect for the camera person, the caterer, the wardrobe, the grip, the light. I mean, all of those people, yes, the people on Friends were in the front, or the people on Living Single, or the people on Insecure in front, but they would be nothing, no things, without the writers and the lighters and the camera people and the people who just hold rope, who hold the electrical cords. There are people whose job is to make sure the electrical cords stay safe and they move them. Like, there's no shows, no TV, no content on television without that. And so I also am one of those people that respects things 360. And I felt so privileged to be part of a group. I should post that later. It's the crew shot. It's like I can't remember what they call it. It's like a family photo of everybody that was a part of the crew first season, right? So the actors are in front of me, the exec producers, and then me, the little chocolate chip in the middle, like, ta-da-ta-da-ta-ta. And it was such a beautiful experience. I got to watch these incredible actors. I got to watch James Burrows, who is like the #1 director. If you know anything about TV, he did Taxi, he did Cheers, like top of the tippity top.
Right.
Jennifer Lewis was on the very first episode. She wasn't like super hyped and famous like she is now, but if you watch episode 2, because it was after the pilot, Miss Jennifer Lewis is there. And that I always have to credit because it just gave me the framework for how I want to be in this business, what I want to accomplish. And more importantly, I'm going to have to say, they always give them credit. They insisted, like Courtney insisted I be in the show. She's like, come on, you tap dance, come tap dance in the tap dance scene. Okay. Come be the waitress in the coffee shop. Okay. So, and this is what I have to say about that faith. I'm going to come full circle. When you have faith in yourself and you make bold moves, like who was I, 20 years old? Like, I'm waiting for a gig. You know, it's August. You haven't given me a show yet. I know shows are starting to film. And they said, okay, you know, if I kept my mouth shut, it wouldn't have happened. But I was like, wait a minute, what about me? And they said, all right, we have one show. We have one show. Okay. We don't know how long it's going to be on television, but you can do it. And I was like, okay, what's it called? They're like, they're flipping through pages. It's called Friends. I was like, all right.
Wow.
They're like, call the production coordinator tomorrow. I call the production coordinator and I say, oh, by the way, I'm only interested in being the stage PA because I'm in my childbearing years. What in the world was I talking about? That is some cojones, the audacity.
I love it.
But let me tell you, the audacity paid off because if I was in the office, I would have been moving papers and lifting and delivering, and I ain't got time for that. I was the stage PA. The only people on set were the actors, the director, and me. What? Wardrobe was in their office. Caterers were in the back. The prop was, everyone was working during the week. And I got to watch rehearsal. I got to order lunch. And I say got to. It was an honor to be like, yes, these lessons that I'm receiving, what do you want from Chin Chin's? Or what do you want from, you know, that restaurant? Oh, Jennifer, oh, you want a salad, but cheese on the side, egg on the side, bacon on the side. Cool, I got you. Because what I'm gaining right now in observation is priceless. And I that would be one of my pieces of advice is to observe. Okay. Yeah. We all want to be stars. I mean, I don't, but people who do, you want to make your mark. Let's put it that way. You want to make an impact. Well, you can make the best impact when you know your craft through and through. So from there, it was second season, and rest in peace, James Michael Tyler, who just passed away. He played Gunther. But I was the waitress in the coffee shop, and he was the barista, second season. Got my SAG card, like bitty, bitty, boom, cool. And I was ready to fly. I was ready to go back to dance. And I said they wanted me to be part of this producer program to like maybe be a writer. But that wasn't my dream. Of course, my parents were like, take it, take it. And I was like, but that's not my dream. I was 10, at least 10, if not earlier, when I said, I looked myself in the mirror and I said, I'm going to have a dance career. As silly as that is. But if I can make that happen as a 10-year-old, what else can I manifest, right?
Right.
But I said, I'm going to have a dance career, and I had jobs lined up. I'm like, I'm ready to go. And so that's another lesson, is to manifest. From there, I actually got bored of dance, to be perfectly honest. You know, you accomplish so many things. You're like, all right, check, check, and check.
Yeah.
What is this thing Joan Rivers is doing?
But you know what? Before we get to that, say you got bored of dance, but I know you danced with some pretty amazing people. So tell us a little bit about who you danced with in those years.
I was so lucky to have a friend who was really good friends with Fatima Robinson.
Oh.
You know Fatima Robinson.
The legend of dance.
If you don't know, Google.
Right, right.
But mind you, I was living in LA. There were clubs in West Hollywood, and me and my best friend at the time would, you know, yeah, we're going to the movies and go to the club, right? We go to the club, honey. Shout out to Roxbury and Century Club. If you're from LA, you're like, yeah. And we were like, oh my God, that dancing is everything. And then we ended up going to Regina's, shout out to Regina's hip hop studio, dance studio, which so many people came out of that studio. Tisha and Tashina rehearsed there, like so many musical groups, like Immature was there, like so many people were there back in the day. And one of our teachers was Lance Crooms, whose brother was Oliver Crooms, who was in the Truth or Dare tour with Madonna. He was the blonde hip hop guy. And Lance was his brother, and he was our hip hop teacher, who's also a really good friend. And he's like, y'all got it. So people would have auditions, we auditioned. We also became friends with Fatima, and that was sort of how that happened. But I don't want people to misunderstand that I just happen to know these people and I live in LA. It's also the fact that I said, no, thank you to this job that you want to give me at Warner Brothers on a really, really popular television show. They were the biggest stars in the world. Right. No, thank you, because my dream, and I'm staying true to myself, was to be a professional dancer. And sometimes when you step out on that faith, God puts the pieces together, right? He's like, oh, cool. She's ready for it. And Fatima and Lance and Oliver, and you booked a job, and Fatima just gave you a job. Right. It works like that. And I had already worked for Fatima in college. She like pulled me out of school one day, and she was like, can you come to the Apollo? We're gonna dance with oh God, what's his name from Guy? The lead, Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall.
And I was like, cool. And snuck away from school.
Wait, what video was this?
No, this was the Apollo to dance at the Apollo.
At the Apollo, yeah, gotcha.
No, but I did do the video. I'm embarrassed to say. I'm embarrassed to say what it's called, but are you ready for this?
Yes.
Get a little freaky with me. Yeah, get a little freaky with me. Yeah. My parents are really proud. It was his solo venture. Right. Hey, we were at the Apollo like, yes. So my parents didn't know because they paid for my flight. And I just sort of snuck away, did the gig, snuck back, finished college.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Wait, and who else? So I know definitely you danced with Will Smith, because I read that somewhere.
Yeah,
what video?
Sorry, I got off on a tangent. Yeah, so ultimately, I do that a lot. Ultimately, I danced with Will Smith, Aaliyah, Backstreet Boys, Brandy, Monica.
Wow.
A lot of rappers that I can't remember.
I see people in the comments saying that they're going to use. Actually, that's my friend Bata, who said she's going to go to YouTube to look it up. What I think people are interested in knowing what songs and videos these were, because I want to watch it as well.
Okay. Aaron Hall, I already told the title.
Yes.
Aaliyah, Are You That Somebody? Come on. I'm right next to you. I'm camera right from Aaliyah. That was literally my favorite gig of all time. I mean, we knew it at the time. Oh, and I danced for Biggie. So I knew it at the time when we were in rehearsal. You have to understand, rehearsal was life, right? We're with our friends. We are gigging. We are doing it over and over. It's like we get like a high, like it's a workout, right? And we just were there for 8 hours a day for multiple days. This is when like rehearsal, we really got to vibe with her and watch. And Fatima was creating the moment with Swoop. Shout out to Swoop, another amazing dancer. And so that's Aaliyah. Will Smith was getting jiggy with it, but we did the Grammys in 1998 with Will Smith. It was like a compilation. We opened the Grammys that year with him. Backstreet Boys was at the European Music Awards. We did, I don't even know what we did. And no. Backstreet Boys was also the AMAs. I don't remember what song it was, but I just remember wearing a cow jacket. Like I'm in a cow jacket. We're all in different clothes.
Wait, did you dance with LSG? Because I see that in the comments.
I
used to love LSG.
I loved that video. That video was everything.
Was it the My Body video?
My Body, yes. We all had wigs. We were feeling ourselves.
I love it.
Yeah. We were feeling it, honey.
Wow.
LTD was a general, no. And then Hypnotized, Biggie Smalls. Yeah, I did. I had a full dance career. It was
right. And that's what I was saying. Like before the TV career was this truly amazing and exciting life that you had. So that's just mind blowing. So let's go back. You said you saw Joan Rivers, and then what happened?
I saw Joan Rivers, and I was at a shift in my life, and I'm very comfortable being quiet. Once I'm like, okay, I did it. And then I go kind of inward, and I spend a lot of time with myself and God and hiking and working out and eating healthy and, you know, dumping a guy and being by myself. And I just remember was lost until I was watching the Oscars, which were a big deal back then.
Mm-hmm.
And also back then, Joan Rivers was like the only celebrity reporter on the carpet.
Yeah. And
I remember looking, and I was like, it was like a ding, you know, I could do that. I could do that. And then everything, once I said I can do it, I felt like the universe, because I'm always open for messages, was like, yes, go. And I just started, I mean, hosting wasn't even a career, y'all. I went to a bookstore. I found some agents' names and addresses. I sent my picture out. He was new. I was new. And he, rest in peace, John Paradise. He was just like, you're it. And started sending me out, and I just started booking. And I was like, this is what I've been looking for. And I was an actress too, but I was kind of not inspired by acting. I'm like, you sit around all day and then you do your line, then it's over, and you're like, it's just it's so anticlimactic for me. But now I get to use my performance and my instincts and my observation and my love of connection in something that is perfectly suited for me, which is connecting with people who are really good at what they do, right? I always said it wasn't just Hollywood people that I loved interviewing. It was people who are extraordinary at what they do, at the top of their game. I just love the exchange of energy that flows between me and one of those people. And it was just all my skill sets aligned. And I was very, very inspired by more and more red carpets, more interviews. And then you get to a point where you're like, all right, that's enough. Like everything else, right?
Right. So you get to, I know before, was actually your first TV job?
No.
There was something else.
Yeah, I did a lot of, my first actual hosting job was before I pursued hosting. It was actually acting. They asked for an actor in this role. And it was a motion capture character for a kids show called Wheel of Fortune 2000. And I would play this animated Vanna White type, but she's like alien.
Right.
So yeah, it was Wheel of Fortune for kids.
Nice.
And they didn't know who this character was. They knew it was a cartoon. They wanted an actor to kind of make it something.
Right.
I came in there and I don't need your thinking script. Let's go. And made her this lovable, delicious character named Cyber Lucy.
It's time to play Hey, and here's our host, David Sidoni. Yeah.
Now, it's 2021, so we've all seen the dots on the actors' faces, and we see how it generates the computer. I was literally the first person in America to shoot any content with motion capture. Crazy. Way before Gollum, way before all of them movies.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So sometimes it will like, you know, need to be recalibrated, and they give us a second, which would be an hour, you know. We would do hours and hours and hours and episodes. We would do like 5 episodes a day, but it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I get to speak my truth and entertain and connect with kids. Kids never saw me. I was behind a full screen, but I could see the game show.
Right.
It was just the greatest. It was the greatest entree. Wow. And then as I kept moving, I did a couple pilots for MTV. I did a makeover show for Lifetime. I did 2 shows from Lifetime. I did a talk show and a makeover show. And I just kept moving. And then, like I said about manifestation, I remember saying to the universe in one of my prayers, I want to host an entertainment show and I want to move to New York. Sure, that makes sense. I have no journalism experience per se. And I had this interview with Extra. And the boss was like, hey, you want to move to New York? I was like, yeah, perfect. And they threw me to the wolves. I mean, mind you, jobs are jobs, right? They don't pay you for your experience. They pay you for how you handle the challenges that are thrown your way. Because apparently in that job, they had hired and fired people, lickety split. One girl moved her whole life out there. They're like, no, fired her in a month. In a month, honey.
Ouch.
Yeah. And I just love when there's no rules. There was nobody taught me anything. Nobody was like, this is how you interview. They were just like, now go, Jay, you got to go downtown to J-Lo. I had to figure out the subway, figure out. I had no makeup artist. I had no wardrobe. I had to figure out how to dress for TV, how to look right for TV, you never get paid for your talent. You get paid for how you survive the challenges and the adversity.
Wow. And so you do that for a few years, and 2009, you decide you no longer want to do that. Now, I've read your reasons why, but I want you to explain to the viewers why you decided, I'm not into it anymore.
I was being worked to the bone. I say that I was a victim of my success, which is I'm good. I'm good at what I do. And so I got thrown. I would work starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would do all the premieres because I was good. So if you want your show to be good, you want me on your pieces. And I worked all the time. And they would joke, you're the hardest working woman in entertainment. It was just like the same feeling as a strong Black woman. It's like, yeah, I'm strong. But do you have to work me to the fucking bone? Sorry, I'm not supposed to cuss.
Oh, no. This is a pro-cursing program. So please, let's go.
Awesome.
Right.
No.
I hope they were paying you for as hard as you work. Because I've heard stories about the industry, and even I don't know if you remember on E! a couple years ago, Kat Sadler.
These are my contemporaries, of course.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't shocking to me at all. Kat was the star of that. But
absolutely. Jason
fits the profile, doesn't he?
Does he?
Unfortunately, I'll give you a statistic in a second. And so that was another part of my frustration. I was in the really, really dark moment. I was getting really depressed. I had no time for my own life. I could barely go that 20 minutes to see my parents. It was go. And it's 7 days a week, y'all, not 5. Where do you think those movie interviews happen when you're sitting with the celebrity? Those are Saturday and Sunday. Sometimes it's a cast of 8 people and a director I have to interview. You got to wait. They don't just come to you. There's a whole schedule. So you're there all day. And the only person that might air is one. But you're not allowed to take the Brad Pitt and say, screw it to the other actors. You've got to interview all of them. So that's wasted energy, wasted time, but that's the game, right? And so I worked 10 months without a day off, easy. And your mental health starts to decline, and you go, what the fuck am I doing this for? Like, I know I'm great. I know there's great content. I have great footage, but my God, I have no man. I have no life. I'm not having fun anymore. And I started to not like the people that I was working with. It was time to go, really, truly. I saw I don't know if you call it a meme, but I saw a video of somebody on Instagram this year that I was like, that's it. She goes, there's one of those videos that says, what's something you learned that people would not believe? And then she popped up and she goes, that the people you work with aren't your friends.
Oh, that is workplace 101. Don't you ever forget it. I mean, okay, I'll say I've been blessed personally to make some lifelong friends at previous jobs, but just generally speaking, that's a good rule to live by.
But Ronce, a job in Hollywood is very different than any other type of job.
Right.
A job in Hollywood, we see each other undressed because we're dressing for the Oscars in a hotel room ready to go to the Oscars. It is kiss. It's, the boundaries of what's acceptable are way stretched in Hollywood. So, it is the only job the only career where you can get a breakdown, an audition breakdown on a fax machine. That's way back in the day, or in an email that says looking for a Black woman, middle age, comes from the hood. Like, you can literally call up, which sounds very inappropriate, but it's the industry where that's appropriate and superpower necessary. So it's a very different industry when you say, and part of your superpower in staying at jobs is to socialize with them. People leave work, they socialize, they go to each other's birthday parties, they drink. You know, it's very social, it's required. And so if they're not my friends when I'm with them 24/7, that's scary too. Then I have no space for my real friends. And then you just feel like the walls are closing in.
Right.
And I was like, what am I doing this for? I also got to a place, Ronte, I'm gonna be honest, because you know how I roll. I also got to a place where I really, really wanted to amplify us. Now, this is in the beginning. 2008 is when Facebook started. I didn't even start my own Facebook page. My job did. They're like, you got to do this Facebook thing. Ah, shit. You know, I'm like, what's Facebook? Oh, cool. I get to find my friends from high school or whatever. But, oh, we got to use it as a tool. And then I remember them adding, oh, by the way, here's a flip camera. It was one of those white boxes that had like an arm, and you film and then you stick it in your computer. It was so new. And I'm like, what am I doing with this? Oh, well, we're sending you to the Madonna concert tonight. Shoot some footage. We'll put it on the show tomorrow. What? You have no idea how that was a mind screw. Like, we didn't do that. We had camera crews. Not only that, we had a camera guy and a sound guy. Like, it was, we had to make sure the camera, that wasn't my job. Oh, suddenly you're handing me this camera and you're going to put it on TV. So now it's my job to shoot good shots and good footage. Okay. Then it became, now we got to sign you up for Twitter. So make sure you're on Twitter. Okay. I have no space, no time, no life. Now I got to Facebook about what I'm doing, shoot my own shit, and I got to tweet about it. What is happening? Everything that I thought I loved is going away. And then this is the last and final straw. Reality shows.
I was waiting for it.
They sent me to a premiere that had Brad Pitt. I've said his name twice now. Maybe that means I'm going to see him. I don't know. It was a Brad Pitt led movie. He's the star. But something went through our offices, and whenever there's pop culture, they go to premieres and to see like who's the guest list. Oh, let's go for that person as well. And I'm gonna be honest, it was Heidi and Spencer who were going to the Brad Pitt premiere. And this is after she had gotten 50,000 surgeries in one day. And they thought that was freaking news. So Tanika, make sure you get Heidi and Spencer. I'm going to the Brad Pitt premiere.
See, it's funny. So I read this quote, so I was waiting for you to say it. And, okay, for a second. So I read this quote and I was waiting for you to say it. And my first thought was, why were they even invited? But, you know. Hollywood. Because that movie was sucking off the teat of their reality show fame too. Gotcha. That's how Hollywood works. It got really, really gross. I watched Anna Nicole Smith descend into death. I watched, Britney lose her mind. I was just like, what is happening to this beautiful, fantastical world that I really cherish sticking my foot into and connecting with these beautiful celebrities who are really good at their jobs. Now it was a bunch of yahoos that are good at nothing, but somehow have a reality show. Like, it was just not sexy to me. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So you leave and you do other things. I believe you hosted a TV guide show in the years after your first stint at Extra. And you did a few reunion shows. I think you did like a Basketball Wives. I remember seeing you on there. And you also, found time for personal life, started a family. And actually, let's talk a bit about that. Yes, because I see your daughter, who you call Munchkin, on on your Instagram. And I think your interactions are just so entertaining, and you guys could probably get your own web series. So tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so easy for women in this industry to forget about that part of the equation because we are focused, we are ambitious, we have things we want to check off the list. It requires all of you. You don't get sleep, you don't meet people, you're traveling all the time. I mean, I would travel back and forth to New York, travel to New York on a red eye, work all day, go to sleep, travel the next morning, work all day in LA. I mean, that was nothing. It doesn't really cater to a woman's needs. And yeah, for guys, and we need makeup and hair, and it was just a whole bunch of stuff. And so, not that I tried, I'm not going to even lie to y'all. It wasn't like, I'm like, well, I got to leave room for a family. I'm not that girl. I'm a girl who's in sync with my path, whatever that is. I'm a girl who was really scared to have kids, really scared. She's really good at finally taking care of me, full stop. I'm a girl, I'm a woman who is very, I'm a proponent of therapy and well-being and self-care. So I finally not mastered, but gotten really good at like really taking care of myself through these strenuous sort of schedule that I had, and, entering a world of journalism without a journalism degree. But trust me, I represented, I figured it out. And the family thing was it happened. It happened because I learned a long time ago that, if you want to make God laugh, you make plans. Manifesting is different than making plans. And I've had friends who are like, and by this age, I'm going to have my third kid. And then by this age, I'm going to have my Bentley. It's like, okay. Good luck with that.
Right.
I've just always made it clear with my connection with universe that I receive the highest good at all times. So if my highest good is to be a businesswoman and to always grind, I receive it. If my highest good and my greatest life is giving birth to a child, a little mini me that now is a part of my being forever, then so be it. And that's what happened. I always say it was immaculate conception. Obviously there's a father, but I was like, I was chosen, y'all.
I believe it. We're sticking with that story. So it's funny. You said you were scared of becoming a mom. Can you tell us why?
Do I get a copy of this? I want a copy of this.
Of course, yeah.
Because I'm trying to figure out what I want to say.
Take your time.
Because if you didn't enjoy your childhood in certain ways, and you have edits to how you were mothered, then it's really scary taking on that title. I had a great upbringing, but I had a lot of stuff that I had no support for. I had a lot of sadness that I had nobody to go to. And I think that's pretty common amongst people in the industry. We all have a little like something, like, we didn't get enough love. We weren't told we were loved. And so we have to find that for ourselves. And so what scared me was I didn't appreciate the way I was mothered. And so I knew I had to start from scratch and figure out how to mother in the way I would have wanted to be mothered, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, and that was incredibly honest. And I guess my next question will be, what is the state of your relationship with your mother today?
Okay. My parents are still married. They are an incredible example of what marriage is. We don't agree on very much of anything, which is fine. It really gave me a lot of clarity on family is family. And then you get to choose your family as well, right? Family is important. Those are the people that you share bloodline with. But then I'm also one of those people that has created my friend family also. that understand my deepest, darkest secrets, that support me and see me for exactly who I am. So we agree to disagree. But what I love, and this is something I could have never expected, was that she and my daughter are very close. So even though my daughter is super me, something about the skipping of the generation, they've come back together. Those two, my daughter calls her every night before she goes to sleep.
Oh, wow.
And they have a connection in a way that I never had. So, you know, full circle moment.
Beautiful. Well, I guess that's a consolation, right? Of sorts. Wow. Do you have any siblings?
I do. Do I seem like an only child?
I was getting that, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how to ask. I was getting only child, but
I know.
Yeah.
I think I give only child energy, but I do have a brother. I have a brother.
Okay. Older, younger?
We're very different. I am legit the black sheep of the family. I gotta find a new word for that. But I'm the unicorn in the family. I'm the black family. The family goes this way, I go that way. Like I strut that way. They all go this way. I mean, it just is what it is. I've gotten really centered with that. It used to be very painful to go, why don't I ever agree with those three people? I don't think that way. I think this way, you know? But now I feel blessed to have my own independent thought that I've cultivated, and I've worked into like a spiritual practice. I feel very blessed to say that all of my thoughts are truly, authentically at the core mine, from experience, from studying, from expanding, from elevating. All of it is, you know, thoroughly me.
Right. It's fantastic. And so your brother, I'm assuming he's older, your brother.
He's not, but everyone thinks he is, yes.
Wow.
I know.
That's interesting. That doesn't really fit, I guess, the pattern of, you know, how people make assumptions about family dynamics, but interesting. Wow, thanks for sharing. And so you had those years away from Extra. Almost a decade later, they came calling back, and you said yes. Why did you agree to return?
Because, like you said, I hosted a bunch of shows. I created some content for myself. I'm trying to figure out, like, where do I want to go, but also patiently and in line with universe. I'm one of those people that's like, if it's time to rest, gotta rest. But they came to me. Not once did I go to them and say, of
course, because
I'm aligned with my path.
Right.
Came to me. I remember being really happy. I know what it was. I was pregnant, but nobody knew I was pregnant. And I was super happy and exuding that on social. And suddenly my old boss started emailing me, what are you doing? Come and see me. And I was like, all right. And when I say it ended bad the first time, I was like, I guess time heals all wounds. I go back, I'm a different person. And I saw it as, what a beautiful time to do it differently. Whereas before I didn't know how to say no. I was running to the ground. I was exhausted. I thought those people were my friends. And now I got to go back as host with, and by the way, Mario Lopez, I was there first, okay? Mario Lopez was my co-host on the weekend show, and they were going to make us both the host together right before I left. And I was like, she goes, what do you want? You want to be host? And I was like, no. I want to
leave.
I want to get the fuck out of here.
Right.
For my own sanity.
Right.
And I wasn't getting the respect. And I think I actually earned that respect by not coming back, by being true to what it is that I said I was going to do, and by being fully in my bag of joy.
Right.
And when they came back, I was like, great, I can put to use the lessons that I've learned over the last 8 years.
Right.
I'm stronger. I know how to say no.
Mm-hmm.
I know my boundaries. I'm going to advocate for myself, right? Balance. And so that's pretty much why it was divine.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess the timing worked out. Before my next question, someone was asking what the age difference is between you and your brother.
What do you guys think? What do you think?
I'll say 5 years.
Anybody else? Nobody has a guess.
No one has a guess. But if someone says something, I'll let you know. But I'm guessing it's not a close age difference.
No, it's 2 years. I know.
Wow. We have 2 3s, we have a 7. Interesting. 2 7s.
Dos
Another thing.
años.
2 years. 6. What? 10.
Y'all
8.
Y'all tripping. Now, why do you think Coco Belima? She knows. Why do you guys think? Why do you think? Hi, Naida. Hi, babe. Why do you think so many years, though? I'm confused.
Well, because usually when siblings are that, like, I guess, different and not so aligned personality-wise, people just assume there's a large age gap, because that tends to be the case. So interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So anyway, back to Extra. You come back. You're killing it. You're 2 years in to your second stint.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out that they are rehiring someone who was fired from the NBC family a few years prior because he laughed at inappropriate comments by the former president. And we're talking about Billy Bush, who was one-time host of Access Hollywood and then went on to the Today Show in the third hour. And a tape leaked from 2005 where he was basically laughing at Donald Trump admitting to sexual harassment, right? And so he's fired, and really in a matter of like 3 years, he gets this second shot, which is came as a surprise to me. I definitely have my thoughts about that, but that the rehiring kind of came right when they were parting ways with you, and so I wonder what. Good.
No. You go. You finish, because that is not the truth. But
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up. But yeah, because I'm judging based on the timeline, and it looked like, oh, one person's leaving, and then you have this person coming in. So in my mind, those decisions were somehow connected. But I basically I want to know how you felt about the end of your second stint, how you felt about that hiring decision, and how you feel about Extra now.
Okay. I do want to make it really clear that when I went into it, I knew it was only for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. That was part of the deal. They're like, look, we'd love to have you back. We can only guarantee up to 2 years, because Extra lost their deal with NBC.
Yes.
Okay. They'd already lost that deal. They only had 2 years left. And in order for them to get re-signed, this is the dirty I shouldn't even say it. I'm not going to say it. But there's some dirty shit that happened behind the scenes. Okay.
Listen, you're amongst friends. Feel free to say that. Not
necessarily regarding me. Just dirty shit in general. Dirty shit for Extra, dirty shit for everybody involved, dirty shit. Okay. But I don't, that was part of my sanity. It's not my business.
Okay.
I knew it was only going to be 2 years because that was the extent of their contract. There was no guarantee that they were going to be picked up by Fox.
Gotcha.
Okay. They were scrambling for those 2 years to get the show bought. Now, I found out year one. So it was the end of a year that Fox was buying it. And I was told, this is like September, I was told you have to be here, because I was asking for time off because I really wanted to go to this Tony Robbins event. That's what I like to do in my free time. I like to expand my fucking mind, okay? And they told me no, that I wasn't allowed to go, that I had to be here to like tap dance for the Fox executives at our Christmas party. And everything in me was like, no, I don't want to tap dance for the Fox executives. And I want to go to my Tony Robbins event. So I went. So that was number one of them. Like, oh, they were probably already pissed that I didn't move my whole life. I'd already bought the tickets. I was already flying to Florida. They were probably already like, she didn't stay to kiss our ass. So that's number one. But I thought that I have no regrets whatsoever, like zero. And when it was time to like, I don't need to be there with, nor Billy Bush is fine. He's not my favorite type of person, but everyone's different, right? Mm-hmm. And I knew when it went to Fox, they were going to have a different type of person that they were interested in.
Gotcha.
And I knew it was over. So it didn't matter to me what they did. I could care less who they bring back. I care as a person in the world who somebody can get in trouble like that and then get a second chance. And not only that, run the show, be a producer on it. That's hilarious. But like I said before about the the Cat Saller situation, he fits the bill, right?
Right.
He's the kind of guy that can bounce back and run a show.
Right.
Whereas, it doesn't happen the same way for people who look like us.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And so would you go back if Extra came? Oh, never. Like, that's out of the question?
Oh, sweetie, no, chapter closed. I've done it. I'm not a lifer of anything. I don't want to just do it. For what? I've done it all. I've interviewed everybody. I've been to Oprah's house. What more do I have to do? That, that schedule sucks. Like, I'm ready to produce my own. I don't agree with how they produce that show. I don't also agree that we shouldn't amplify entertainment in the right way. Like, let it be broader than just distraction, who they're dating, what movie they have, and the publicity sort of narrative. Who are they as people? Who are they spending their time with? What are they sad about? Like, let's have a broader conversation. I pitched this show so many times. Let's go out with the celebrities to the organizations that they support. Let's go to the gala with this celebrity, and if they're supporting foster kids or they're supporting diabetes or whatever. Let's do that. At least there's a little bit more of a purpose. You still get the celebrity, you get their passion, and you get what they care about. Versus, yeah, they can sell their movie, but trust me, there's so much more broad than just a pretty face.
Right. So actually, one of the viewers asked if you would consider hosting a podcast. They think you'd be great at it. I think so too.
Y'all are so cute. I love that because I actually started my podcast last week.
Love it. What's it called?
My podcast is called Mamaste with Tanika Ray. I did my official first podcast last week. It ran. It's like my dream. I don't know why it took me so long, but join me if you hit my homepage. What do you call it on Instagram? And click the link in the bio. It's the top option for you to go to my podcast. But yeah, I'm doing it.
Of course. Love it. Love it. I will definitely be checking that out. And I guess since you won't be going back to Extra, would you go back to another entertainment? If another, like ET or some other entity called you and said, Tanika Ray, you're the best in the business, we need you, what would you say?
I would say that they'd have to pay me.
That part? Of course.
They'd have to pay me what my counterparts are getting paid. And, at the time when I was back in 2009, the two hosts of the show were making $1 million a piece. Do you remember who they were? I'm
struggling. Wow.
I wasn't making anywhere close to that. So that was my thing. I'm like, they're making that much money. People don't even, and people watch, they don't even know who they are.
Yeah, you were the star. So it's funny because when I was like looking you up, because in my head you were the main host of Extra, because that is all I remember of Extra, and I'm thinking like, oh, so she was a correspondent in those first years. I had no idea.
That's what I'm saying. They kept bringing me on and introducing pieces, but I wasn't being paid like I was bringing people to the show. And so in order to go back, and it's never, and this is the thing, Ron, say, I don't want people to get confused. Please don't get confused.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in this industry for 20 years. I have never made a business decision based on money. Never have I wanted to, never have I needed to. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you make a decision based on money, it will send you solely on money. It'll take you down the wrong path. It'll take you down a path of sadness and depression. It's just not what you, and every time I watch people make decisions that way, I'm like, that's not the life I want. I want to make a decision based on contentment, but I also want to be respected and make money that is going to counterbalance all the time that it requires, and for my name and for what I bring to the table. So it's not about me making the decision for money. If you know what you have, pay me what I'm worth. But I can no longer do these entertainment shows where all the Black hosts aren't making what they made 10 years ago when you can't even remember their names. And so they always kind of see us as accessories, and it's problematic. It's always been problematic, you know? It's the same way that they think it's the same way they only cover like Halle Berry, I've said this before, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Beyonce, and Oprah.
Those are the only five Black celebrities in the whole world. It's crazy.
It's pretty prevalent.
I think it's getting better, but for
a
long time, that was definitely the case.
Well, because they can't deny it now. They can't deny it that on TikTok, you know, the guy who has the most followers on TikTok doesn't speak. He's just like,
right.
You know?
I know.
Represent. It's
right.
Like all the dances from TikTok. It's like we're every and anywhere. Like I remember having a fight with them, like Taraji P. Henson. No, she's not a big enough star. I'm like, but she will be. No, we're not even gonna say it.
She will be, especially if you let her, get some coverage, because it's like, oh, they're not big enough, but you're not letting them get any TV time, so they won't be big enough.
Correct. So I've always been like, Kevin Frazier and Kevin from E.T., if you watch those.
Yeah.
He has his own hip hop Hollywood. It's like a digital. But we've talked about it along as well as like AJ Calloway and Nichelle, all my friends. Like, why are we need to go to like, where do we go where we can just do us, right? And talk about our entertainment, talk about the people that elevate us, that make culture, basically.
Right.
And then BET doesn't even have anything entertainment. They don't have an entertainment. They don't even have a news show.
Not anymore. They did once upon a time, but it's not there anymore.
Right.
Wow, we could honestly go forever, but we're pulling up on an hour, and IG Live will kick us off. I have so much more to ask, but we're gonna wind it down. And basically, what's next for Tanika Ray?
Doing my podcast. That is like my passion right now. I really want to connect. It's called Mamaste with Tanika Ray, which is really connecting all the collective of mommies out there, because I truly believe, as we're looking at our world on fire,
literally,
people who can change and shift this narrative for us is not only women but mothers. Teach your children empathy, teach them kindness, teach them that things that are happening on the news are wrong, teach them that there's a lot of lies out there. My daughter came home from school and they did they learned about Ronald Reagan. And in the little breakdown, it was like, Ronald Reagan was one of the most amazing presidents. And I was like,
indeed.
And that's the problem. That's what they're teaching all the kids. And my daughter doesn't even go to public school. She goes to so I'm paying money for them to tell my child that Ronald Reagan was one of the most amazing presidents. And I let her get her grade. And then I'm like, sweetie, he didn't help. He was really bad for our culture.
Right.
He planted crack in our neighborhoods. Like,
damn it.
But if they teach, you have to get an A. Like, they're teaching you, they repetitively, and then that will go down in history that he's a good president. Do you understand? It's like the mind fuck.
It is the worst. But anyway, we're literally down to 10 seconds. Tanika Ray, we have to do this again because I have a million more questions. But thank you for joining me, and talk to you soon.
Much love,
Take care.
Ronce.
Bye.